All right, guys, today I'm going to show you how to tie the knots on the fishing traps. I made a video in the off season when we were cleaning all the traps and all the buoys and painting and repairing everything. And I had some requests when I was tying the knots on that video. And I had some of the viewers say, hey, can you do another video just tying the knots and kind of show it up close? Garbage truck going by. I got to tell you guys, I got to apologize right off the beginning. I have no idea how the audio is going to come out on this video. Normally I wear the lap mic and it's crystal clear, but when we were dropping the traps, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and link it at the end of this one. It was horrible weather. We had a hurricane coming on the west coast of Florida, and we were dropping the traps. The weather was really bad. We were soaked from head to toe. All the camera equipment was soaked, and the receiver for the mic, didn't make it. Didn't make it, so I'm using an external mic. Normally I like to be closer to that mic when I'm talking, but hopefully this comes out pretty good. First thing you guys want to do is if you're tying stone crab traps, you want to make sure that you tie it. These traps actually do have a side that is the front. You can see this little notch right here in the trap, and this is so that when you put the rope in it, the lid can actually close. If you were to tie it from this side, the lid wouldn't be able to close with the rope going in it. So now that we got that established, let's go ahead and start tying the knots here. All right, so I've positioned another camera here on a gimbal to try to give you a close-up, but the first piece that I'm going to tie is the piece that goes from side to side on the trap, and then it's got a loop in the middle, and then from there we're going to attach the main line. So this piece of rope, this is 3/8 rope, which is pretty standard, what everybody uses here in Florida. All the commercial guys use 3/8 rope for all the crab and the lobster traps. So we're going to tie that on first. You want to go ahead and bring it through. Make sure you can see this here. We're just going to bring the rope on the top. We're going to make a circle. Just go over it again. Now that you got this loop, you're going to go in between the two ropes, and then you're going to pull. So it's very important that when you make that knot, it looks like an X like this. Okay? If this side were to be on top of the other one, this would be incorrect. The knot would look like this, and this knot will never be tight, and it'll always get loose. Let's try that one more time, and I'll do this a few times, guys, so you can see. We put the rope through the trap, go over just to make a circle. So I've got a circle in the rope, and then I put the tag end through all of that, like this, and then pull it down tight. Now this knot will never come off of your trap. What will happen is the more you pull, the tighter it gets. Then I would tell you to go ahead and take this little tag end, and split the rope open, and you're gonna slide it through like this. You can go ahead and do that twice. If you've got a big enough tag end, one time is sufficient. And what this is going to do is that when this rope pulls, it's going to make it even tighter, and there's no way that this is going to slip. So now let's go ahead and do the other side. Let's see if I can put the camera a little bit closer for you to see the second one. We're going to do the same thing. We'll put the rope through and make a little circle. And we're going to put the tag end right through there. We're going to pull that tight. Then you're just going to slide it back to the edge of the trap. And the same thing, we're going to pull the rope open. We'll go ahead and put that through. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is tie the loop. And this loop is what's going to, the main line is going to be attached to that. So all I do is just pull this back. And we're just going to make a circle with this rope. Very simple, just to make this loop. Now you're going to go ahead and pull this tight. And then from here is where we're going to attach the main line. Now we're going to take our main line here. I've got them prepped. These are actually some spare traps that I'm making because we had that horrible hurricane, and I'm really worried we're going to have a lot of loss of traps on the ocean side with the results of that storm. So you're going to take your tag end here. And this one here, I would tell you, well, all these knots are going to be important, but this one is going to be very important. If you do it incorrectly, you could lose your trap. So you got your loop. You're going to come in from the bottom to the top. You're going to go all the way around it. But instead of going in through here, you're going to go under that loop that you did the first time and then come through it. So then you're just going to pull this tight. Now you've got that knot on there. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to open up the rope. We're going to slide that rope through here a couple times, and this is going to prevent that knot from moving. I mean, these knots don't move. If they're done correctly, they're not going to move anyway. But this makes it even sturdier because the more you pull, the tighter this rope is going to get here. So we got that first one done. Put the rope in here. I'm going to move this. Go ahead and do another one to show you guys. God. And I like to tie the traps, guys. It's just my own preference. I put the escape ring and the chew out wood. This is what's called the chew out wood. So if the trap gets run over by a boat and it gets cut off and you can't retrieve it, this trap is made of plastic, but this is untreated pine right here, and this rots out real quick, and the crabs could chew through this. They'll break it off and they'll be able to escape the trap. And then this is a new requirement that started 2 years ago here in Florida, which is called an escape ring, so that the little crabs could come in and out of the trap. I like to tie it there because, you know, you're going to get times where this could be the crabs will break it. And sometimes there could still be crab inside the trap. They break it, but there's food in there, so they're just eating. And I like to pull the trap with this facing forward instead of, you know, coming up from the other side. That way, if this is not there or I got smaller pieces of bait, I don't want them falling out of the trap as it's coming up. So we're going to go ahead, start again. Get the other cameras lined up here. We're going to go, all we're doing is going through the hole, the bottom hole of the trap. Again, we brought the rope over. We're bringing it over just to create a circle. And then we're going to take this tag end underneath all of it through the hole. And you're going to pull it tight. Now, don't be worried if you got a little tag end like this. As long as this knot looks like an X, like this knot is not going anywhere. The more you pull, the tighter it gets. So I actually like to tie it with only a little bit like this and just stick that one end through it. Now we'll come over to the other side. And do the same thing. You can see it. It's hard with the black rope and the black traps. We're going to make that circle again. Bring the tag end right through the middle. Make sure your knot looks like an X like that. And you're going to pull it tight. Stick that right through. Now I'll show you the loop again. All we're doing here, and this is a best practice, I like to pull it down to get it you know, try to get it centered. You don't want this loop to be on the side. So I get it centered right there. Go ahead and make the loop. You can tighten it. There you go. Now you've got the loop centered, ready for the main line. So you want to get your rope. You've got your tag end. So you've got your loop that you made. You're going to bring the rope underneath. Now a lot of guys will just go like this and make this kind of a knot. The problem with this is that this could slip. So I don't like to do that on the traps. Spend a lot of money on this gear to be pulling it and watch the knot slip. So all you're going to do is the same thing, but instead of going through the loop here, you're going to go right underneath that one. So you're going to make a secondary loop behind it. See? And then all you're going to do is pull that tight. And this will never come off. And I'll tell you guys, after a year of the year is 6 months, the season is 6 months. After 6 months, this is extremely difficult for me to take it off when they're on land here, and I'm going to clean the ropes and all that. I want to do the same thing. Go ahead and open the rope and put this through. And there you go. You've got your perfect knot, just like a commercial fisherman. This is not going anywhere at all on your trap. All right, guys, so there you have it. Now you know exactly how to tie these knots for your crab and lobster traps. The guys up in the Northeast, they call them lobster pots and crab pots, same thing. These knots are extremely effective. They are not going to slip. If done correctly, make sure that when you make that knot, it looks like an X. Done correctly, they're not going to slip. You don't have to worry about it. You can make your knots just like a professional commercial fisherman. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to check out the video of us putting the traps in the water, the day one of the season, I'll link it at the end of this one.